Mantis Burn Racing by Vufu Studios is the first native 4K game to get released on the PlayStation 4 console, and with that it has a few neat tricks up its sleeve, but more on that later. Mantis Burn Racing is an isometric racer in the same vein as Micro Machines from the 90s, although rather than racing around the kitchen sink or a picnic blanket, you race around dirt tracks and cityscapes. The vehicles are a mix of being lightweight and nippy dune buggy type cars, the medium weighted standard cars, and then the big heavyweight truck type monsters. Each of them have different racing characteristics, and each come in a rookie, pro and a veteran option, getting quicker and more chaotic as you move up. The game, having 3 options, allows you to take on a 7-season career, taking on different formats of racing from standard 3-lap races to a knockout where the person in last place gets eliminated until a victor is revealed. Challenges on each race see you collecting gears, earning XP, and also the coin system, simply referred to as G. Leveling up with your XP sees you being rewarded with car upgrades that you can use on any of your vehicles to gain that little bit extra under the bonnet or even attached to the tyres. Outside of the career, you have a local race for up to 4 players on split screen, or you can take on all comers online. Visually, the game is beautiful. As mentioned earlier, the game is the first native 4K game to be released on the Sony console, although currently playing it on a standard PS4 I struggled to see where the extra detail will come from. Needless to say, a HD to 4K comparison will be produced when the PS4 Pro gets its release. The camera can sometimes get a bit confusing, and it's best to find your favourite option early on, whether it's the standard, the dynamic, tight or fixed options. Personally, I played using the tight camera, which sees the camera stay right behind the car and rotate as you sling your car into the corners. The game is an absolute blast to play and get to grips with. However, the lack of tracks available at launch is a bit disappointing due to the fact that in general there is only 2 environments that the races take part in. However, according to the game's website, there is due to be regular updates included, both free and paid for content. So, the tricks that I mentioned earlier. The game runs at 60 frames per second in Ultra HD in single player, then pump up to 2-player split screen, and the game has an unlocked frame rate, allowing it to drop and rise as the action on screen changes. And then we move on to 4-player split screen, and Vufu have locked the frame rate to 30 frames per second. This allows the performance to be smooth, albeit not as silky as the single player. Now, when playing 4-player split screen on a 4K screen, each player gets their own little 1080p screen. Nice touch. Overall, the game is brilliant. An absolute charmer in the graphics, controls are responsive, and the different race types keep feeling fresh as you move through the career. The only downside is the lack of tracks and different cars available, although I'm sure Vufu will rectify this in due course.